Hey everyone, I'm Iftikhar Hussain and I'm delighted to be your host for this exciting edition of Grad Talks Season 2.0, organized by the Computers Engineer Society of Siliguri Institute of Technology. The vision behind Grad Talk is to build the bridge between our alumni and the current generation of students so that we can learn from their journey and gain industry insights because they belong to the same classroom like us. Today, we are truly honored to have with us Mr. Vishal Das, a distinguished alumnus of our CSE 2022 batch pass out of SIT. Vishal Das is currently working with Accenture, one of the leading global IT and consulting firms. On behalf of CS and SIT, I warmly welcome you to the podcast. It's a privilege to have you here with us for this conversation. Would you like to say a few things about you?
Sure, one correction. I'm from 2020 pass out batch, not 2022. So that's one correction. But yeah, about my college days, I can say yeah, it was with fun and obviously we have to study, otherwise we cannot pass our exams. Obviously, but we in college days, I mean, we don't usually study that much. I mean, it's like a day before the exam, everyone does. There was organizers there, right? So, but yeah, we were involved in multiple things, obviously. So the
Okay.
tech fest and stuff. But yeah, mostly college is the day where I mean time when we really interact with our friends and have our memories that we don't get to live after when we go to corporate world, right? So I mean that's the thing. Study plus fun. That's the uh, what I have done in my college days. So yeah.
Okay, thank you so much. Let's begin from your college life at SIT. What's the first memory that comes to your mind when you think of SIT?
Okay, the first memory you can say that actually the first memory I would say that I joined. I mean, it was a funny memory though, but actually our college started I guess on 17th of August of 2016 or something, but I was not aware of it. So I was just gone to the college just to ask them when the college will start, and the person from the admin desk they told the college is started today only, and I haven't taken anything with me. There was no bag, no nothing was with me. So I just told my father that okay, college is, today is this class starting, and I just go into the building. So the first thing that when I entered the classroom, it was like everyone is unknown faces are there, and I just go to straight to the last bench and I sat there. So the first class that I have that was there was physics class. So yeah, so it was a very, it was like a lot of things. I was like इंजीनियरिंग में आके भी फिजिक्स कर रहे हैं वही सोचने में लग गया वही है फिर then we get to interact. Then I interacted with few of my friends, and yeah, then we became friends. And then after a while, it happens with everyone, I guess, that everyone becomes everyone's friend. So we know everyone.
Yes,
So, but the first day, it's like that. Yeah, there are a lot of unknown faces. You don't know. It's very awkward kind of feeling. And I am the only one from my school, so in that batch. So it was like a very awkward kind of
so
feeling.
the first memory of you is this building.
Yeah, Desh building, yes.
Okay,
And we were, yeah, that's the first memory you can say.
okay. So you were mentioning that you are part of a tech fest and college, and so at your time, I guess so many events have conducted like hackathons and club
Yes,
activities.
yes.
So are you involved any clubs at your time?
No, club activities I was not that part of, but yeah, in Tech Fest, I was there was one robotic competition that happened. So I
Yes.
was just, I mean, I was helping one of my friends I mean, they are mainly organizing, but I was there also. So, and apart from it, mostly cultural fest and stuff, those are organized by others. So yeah, but yeah, I do participate in every seminars that happened in college. So in
Okay.
our time, a lot of seminars did happen, and one dev meet also happened. There are four developers came from a very esteemed developers came, and there we get to know a lot of things. Like at that time, there was something. Now there are a lot of advanced AI things, but there was a dialog flow, something called a dialog flow from Google. It was previously so. I was very interested in that. So we had a session how to you can create a chatbot using Dialogflow. So it was a very interested. So that I remember very much insightful one.
So I seems that you are very interested in tech from the very early of your college life. So for sure you have developed so many projects, solo projects and group projects.
You can say, I mean, I have done projects, but mostly how I see that how we should learn. Obviously, we have to learn by doing only. There is no
Yes,
other way of. I mean, if you only go through the theories, right? So at the end of the day, you will know how to do it, but will you don't know the how not to do it. That's the main purpose of development. When you start, you build any application, you take any tech stack, anything, and you start building, right, you will face a lot of errors when you search that error. Maybe right now we are searching on Gemini or chat
ChatGPT.
gpt, but yeah, but we used to search in Stack Overflow also. So there, when you read a lot of comments, right, you get to know, okay, this is the reason, or this can be done this way also. So that's the way. It's not limited to college days only. Even in my right now, whenever I got stuck, right, so I don't just, I mean, you have to research it out, right. Not everything I'm aware of, because a lot of things are happening in, I'm a Java developer, by the way, so a lot of things are happening in Java. So I'm not able to know each and everything. So and also business requirements are there, so we'll talk about it later also. So how,
Okay.
what is the difference between a professional software development and a simple project. But yeah, I did created some project, obviously. So but yeah, if you say I was not that much keen to Java at the first time. I was more like
Okay.
I was doing development mostly in Python. I started my development journey with Django and Flask, so I'm very interested toward interested. So I used to do some feature. I created a blog app, I guess, and also some portfolio website using Django. But after joining the industry, I mean, when I joined my first company, there it was a bit different. I mean, when we join a company, they do train us on us something, but it doesn't mean that you will get a project on that particular tech only. So it all depends on the business requirement. So, but at our time, I was trained on .NET, so I get to know a lot of things in .NET. But later, when I joined the project, it was not in .NET; it was in Java only. So there, I started my, you can say, my actual Java. I mean, I used to know basics of Java, obviously roots and stuff, but the
Yes.
actual learning started on the job itself. So you can say how the things, how web development and all the stuff. But after I get into it, I started enjoying it. I mean, when you do development, at least in enterprise development in Java, you will understand, I mean, how interested it exactly is.
Okay. So any projects from your college life that still you feel proud of?
Any projects, you can say, I, in my final year project, I did a, I mean, kind of a, I mean, text summarizer kind of thing. At that point, it was, I mean, we used to do some AI models, and it can summarize a text or something like that. So it is that kind of thing I did. It was like a huge chunk of, let's say, Wikipedia page or something. You dump it and you give your summarization. But now it's a very, it's a very, you cannot do this kind of projects now, because it's a very advanced now, the AI stuff. But at that, when we were in college, it was like some text summarizer algorithms are there. So yeah, but it's not like that I did all by myself. I researched on GitHub. Obviously, you can, if you research on GitHub, you get a lot of projects. So I
Yes.
read them. Basically, what I feel to be a good developer, or anyone, not only you have to write code, you have to read code properly. If you don't understand after reading code, then you're doomed. You're doomed everywhere, basically. So that's what I feel.
So documentation is necessary to be a good developer.
Yes, documentation is obviously necessary to be a good developer, but yeah, it all depends on how. I mean, it all depends on the I mean team basically and how they document. Sometimes it's I mean, let's jump it. I mean, let's talk about it later. But I will talk. I will give some advice on that also.
Okay. So what's your favorite subject and the tough subject according to you in your college life?
Favorite subject, I won't say favorite, but I would say interested is automata theory. There is one subject in our third year, I guess, automata. So I used to like it. I mean, it's very interested using those diagrams, NFA, DFA kind of stuff.
Yes.
So yeah, I liked it very much. And tough, if you say, it was obviously engineering mechanics. Engineering mechanics 2 is the toughest. I mean, even after giving the exam of engineering mechanics 2, I was like, will be able to get a marks or not? Will be able to pass? So mechanics was a very hard for me, no doubt.
Okay, my next question is one SIT event that you always remember.
Obviously, Tech Fest, the culture, basically the Bollywood night
Okay.
at our third year, basically, because first year, second year, we don't get that much independence, but yeah, third year mostly organizes the fest, right? So
Yes, sir.
yeah, so in third year you get the mostly we enjoy a lot. So yeah, third year Tech Fest, and yeah, that's
So if you could go back to your college life, what would you change?
what would I change. Mm, I would say to myself that don't get overwhelmed by a lot of things, because in our time we were I used to follow a lot of YouTube channels, so it was like someone is saying this tech stack, that tech stack, but I would say focus on code fundamentals, focus on your subjects, like do and basically mostly focus on DSL algorithms, SQL, and it's like you have to be, if you uh, give your 100% on these three things in your, and obviously any language that you are very interested, any language, it's not, you don't have to jump and you don't have to listen to everything, but that was the thing. But I was very overwhelmed by this and that, so that I should change, that I should say
Okay.
myself.
Okay, that was wonderful to hear about your college journey. I'm sure current students can relate to many of us this experience. Now I'll be moving to your career journey.
That's right.
How did your transition from your college to industry begins? Like, what are the challenges you primarily faces during your industry journey?
So challenges, the first challenge that you will face is like the student mindset and a corporate mindset. So a student mindset, I would say it's very fragile in nature, but when you enter in corporate, you can be that way. You have to be very, not only very, mm, very, in simple words, you have to be very political in nature. So not everything is you will be solved by writing a code. A lot of things in corporate that we should be very aware of, especially that I would say a soft skill that is very important is communication.
Yes,
Because if you don't know how to communicate, let's say you are very good developer, okay, in your team you are doing a lot, uh, in actually in any corporate scenario, development scenario, you would get a user story, something called a user story you are given. So what is a user story? It's a business requirement that comes from a business owner or a product owner. So let's say you are working on a lot of user stories, you are a very good developer, but you are not very engaged in the team. So maybe the team, maybe the supervisor you are working for, he is not aware of how much you are giving effort. Maybe
yes,
you're helping out a lot of your colleagues, but he is not aware of. So I should say you have to be very, not only write code, you have to be very good in communication also with your peers, with your subordinates, with your supervisors. So communication is the key basically. That's the one thing that I would say that the main challenge. And other thing that I would suggest people is to use a lot of, learn how to use Git. Obviously, if you don't know how to use Git, then you are And in the development, when you first introduce, okay, the first code you might not commit. Yes, if you don't understand Git, how Git works, what is Git commit, what is Git merge, that is another challenge. Not challenge, I mean a learning, you can say, that you have to do if you are entering in corporate. But it also depends on which projects you are getting, obviously which tech stack you are, not tech stack, which domain you are working for. And another thing that I would say, that uh, do not have a rigid mindset, that I will only do this. If I don't get this, then I won't do it. This will not work in corporate. Okay, so let's say you are right now, you will obviously sit for placement. So you're when they take when the companies take us, right? So they they don't decide based on what technology is trending or stuff. It's based on the business requirement at that point of time. It may be that they are needing a SAP developer. SAP SAP is a tool that is a very financial tool, so they might need that kind of developer. So they will assign you that project. So you have to learn that also. So learning is a journey. When say you have in corporate also, you have to learn a lot. I mean, every day, I can say. So it's not, learning doesn't stops. And also I would say, do not have a rigid mindset. I mean, and be very communicative. Whatever you do, whatever you feel you are working, you should be communicate properly, and that's the key. Yes.
So soft skill are as much important as
I say
develop.
most more important than development skills, I would say, because after 5 years, I mean almost 5 years, we'll complete almost 5 years. So I would say I have seen many people who are very good at their work, but are not good at communication skill, and they are overshadowed by people who are good at communication skill. So I would say communication skill is very very important.
Okay. So my next question is your campus regarding your campus placement. So for your first company was Capgemini.
Yeah.
So how did you prepare for your placement and ended up in Capgemini? And
Okay.
what consequences did you face during your campus drive, which I was guess in fourth year?
Okay, so I would say, I mean, this is not the first interview that I have taken. I mean, I was rejected multiple times. I mean, in maybe in some, even the first challenge, you can say, I was not able to clear out the aptitude round. I was more focused on what I will do in interview, but I was not, because there are elimination rounds, right? For placement interviews, aptitude round was there. So maybe for experienced developer, it was not there, but for a fresher, you have to go through it. No other way. You have to go through the first, maybe sometimes it's group discussions also. So the first thing is that I was not focused on aptitude. So first few companies that came, I was not able to clear that only. And also some companies did have a coding round. Also, I was not able to clear that also. So I was very, you can say, disheartened. Then I started more preparing on the stuff, and mostly focused on the how I can skip the elimination round, basically how I can go to the interview round. That's what I was not I was not focusing on at that point. I was not focusing on how what I will say in interview. My focus was mostly on how I can cross this aptitude rounds, because I was not clearing and my confidence is getting low. So I focused on that, and in that Capgemini interview, I able to do it. Then I was interviewed, but yeah, your first interview will not be that perfect. I feel so, because I'm a fresher, so even the interviewer also doesn't expect that much. But at that time, but right now, I would say things have changed. So they are expecting a lot of things from a fresher also, because I mean, they don't expect you know everything, but you should be have a hands-on or a touch base kind of thing. Like I would say, one thing that is very important right now is at least know what is AI, at least know what is prompt engineering, how you write good prompts. They might ask this question: would you aware of what is prompt? How do you write a good prompt? So not only AI engineers have to learn this, but as a fresher also you should know what is it all about. And also, not only the, I mean, I would first suggest that whichever thing you are doing, right, you should focus on one tech stack. You should, I mean, just because for the interview, at least when you will tell the interviewer that you have done this or that, so you should be very versatile on one tech stack. If you are choosing, let's say, MERN, you learn MERN very much. If you are choosing Java, learn it very much, but do not, what I told previously also, I was overwhelmed by multiple things. So do not get overwhelmed by things. So whichever you are doing, get focus on that and build yourself good projects. Obviously, in interview you have to talk about your projects only. So yeah, that's, and obviously touch on the basics of fundamentals. I mean, all the thing depends on the interviewer, what he or she is asking you. But you should be very communicative in nature, and you should be very confident that the answers that you are giving. That's what I
Uh,
did, but it was not perfect. Obviously, the first interview was not perfect. So
so my next question is, what does your current role at Accenture and what is SSE all about? Your position
so
is.
my position is senior software engineer, basically senior analyst. They say. So in my current role, I am a senior Java developer who is working for a client. So they have their custom applications. So we build on depending on what I told previously, business requirements. Those come from business people, and then we analyze it. Then we develop it. So my tech stack is mostly on Java. So when I say Java, it's we don't directly write Java code. Not directly. It's like we don't write core Java code. When I haven't do this, I was mostly on Spring Boot. There is a framework called Spring Boot in Java.
Yes.
That is the main framework of everything. Spring framework, basically Spring Boot is one part of it. So there are a lot of things in Spring, basically. So if you are interested in Java, you should get a touch on Spring, obviously. So my role is all about development, then obviously giving client demos. So we have to present whatever we develop. This is also a part of a agile journey. So you have to know how agile works. So that's a very important thing. In development world, agile is the thing that we all do. There is something called sprints. So each and every development happens in sprints. Sprints are like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, depending on your company. They do have their own sprint days. So there you have to, in that particular time, you have to complete some part of your application. Then you have to demo it to the client or the business owner. So they will see your demo, or then they will give some feedback or something. So that's all. That's managing all the stuff. So yeah.
Uh, so we often see in LinkedIn SWE and SDE keywords. So what is these job roles are?
I say, I mean, every company, okay, have their own tags. Like in my Capgemini, it was analyst. The first analyst A4, they used to call the first thing, analyst A4. So it all hierarchical things. So every company has their own tags for any for their hierarchy. So SD is like software development engineer, and SW is also software engineer. So we do write. I mean, even I have written SD1, or you will see SD1, SD2, SD3 also.
Yes.
SD1 is the junior one, SD2 is mid level, SD3 is the top, you can say. So but in our company we don't have that kind of thing. We have senior software engineers, then senior architect, then junior architect, then senior architect. So this kind of, every company case to case basis it happens. I mean, it all depends on, I mean, whatever tag your companies use.
So all the job roles are does the same work, just a name difference in every
Yeah,
company.
it depends. But it can be different also. Like, let's say in when I was working in Amdocs, so there is some people are called manual. So not only SD jobs are in there in software job, you can be a tester also. So there is something called a testing job, testing role also. So what, in testing also there are two kinds of testing, two or three I would say. One is called manual testing. There you have to do, let's say there is an application, you have to manually test that, how the application will behave. So there will be test cases, you will manually click there and here, you will do stuff. So that's a manual tester's job. That's also a job role. There is an automation tester, which whose job is to automate everything. However, we are testing, and whatever is happening manually, it has to be automated. So mostly it happens on some framework. For Java, it's Selenium. For Python, some other framework was there. But yeah, so we have to automate. There is another called non-functional testers or performance testers. So what they do, I mean, it's a very, you might get overwhelmed, but yeah, not only when we develop application, we are focused on what is we are seeing in the screen. There are a lot of non-functional things also, right? Just like you watch Hotstar, right?
Yes.
You know we in or Netflix, let's say we are watching a lot of movies, or let's say one new web series came and all the people are watching, so there might be a load on that server. So
Yes.
there is something called performance of a application. So that kind of testing was done by the non-functional testers. So a lot of job roles are there. Not only you cannot be say, I mean, you cannot say only software engineers are running the IT. There are a lot of things. There is something called business owners also, or product owners that I was talking about. So what they do, they directly talk to the business, then they understand what is the business requirement, then they create user stories. So a business owner or a product owner have to know both the worlds. He needs to have a domain knowledge. Like let's say he is working on a banking project, so he needs to know what is a banking things, how banking, let's say how loan mechanism works. He needs to know that also, or he needs to know how a development things also work, how it can be developed. So there are multiple roles in tech, not only I would say SD or SWE. So it's, but it all depends on what is the first job that you are getting. So and also if I would say the first role that you get in your campus placement or in your first company, if you are not interested in that, so I suggest, I mean, obviously you have to be that company for some time, but try to switch because the more before you switch, the more early you will get your desired job role. But when you go to a very senior level, okay, you have crossed a lot of time in the that particular domain, so you are not able to switch because the thing that you want to get switched to, let's say you got a some other profile and you are interested in Java or let's say Python, you want to switch to it, but after 3 years Python is industry trends are gone somewhere else, so you cannot cope up with that. So if you are interested, I would suggest switch, but obviously do a very statistical switch depending on your condition. But yeah, but I should suggest.
Okay. So it's okay to share with us about your projects you have worked on and the technologies you have used to develop those things.
Yeah, sure. I mean, the projects, I would say I don't talk about in depth, but I will vaguely talk about.
Yes.
So, the project that let's start with the first company in Capgemini. So there, we used to have a few applications that were built on Spring MVC and Spring Boot. So our task was mostly on managing the. I mean, there are some phases of application, right? So, and also every company works in different way. So the project that I was in Capgemini, it was in maintenance phase. So we haven't developed the application, but we are part of the maintenance phase. So whatever comes in maintenance, it can be a simple change, it can be a complicated change, we have to do it. So I was working on that. It was like sometimes it was just a simple SQL query or changing data in the DB, or it can be it was a projects both in front end and back end. In back end we are using Spring MVC, and in front end was in Angular. So at that time I learned Angular also. So but yeah, I was not interested that much in front end. Even right now also I'm more in back end guy, you can say. I study a lot of back end things, so I'm interested more in back end. But yeah, so at that time it was just, it may be something, a simple UI change also. It can be a simple button change, button color change, or in back end also you might have to add a business logic. Let's say you have to add you have to change I remember we used to I did a story changing a currency converter. So it was some logic that is coming, the data is coming from some other data source. So, but later point of time, the data source was changed. So we used to connect to some other data source. It was a currency converter that in the business logic I have done. So yeah, that's I can say. But I would say in my second company, in Amdocs, there actually I learned how what is actual development is. You would say maybe the core development things that I learned from Amdocs. It was I would say there is no learning before that. So when I joined Amdocs, I was very, you can say, noob kind of developer, but the way the seniors in Amdocs taught me and the culture that Amdocs has, it was, you have to learn, otherwise you will be very behind. So I was very focused on it. So there I learned about Docker, containerization. There I learned about Kubernetes. There I learned about this all the things that I'm talking about, like performance engineering. Then something called observability. Also, I would talk about that. So when we develop application, so we have that. Let's say we do it. Are you aware of CI/CD, or should I talk about that also?
Yes,
So there is,
pipelining.
yeah, there is something called CI/CD. So I forget about one job role also. There is something called DevOps. So DevOps
Yes.
is a very popular job role. Even I am interested in that also. So DevOps, in the DevOps people are like the backbone of everything. So without DevOps, developers cannot ship a single line of code also. So uh, so there is another job role, DevOps. So there, what is CI/CD, then how this CI/CD works, then after deployment, okay, any application when we deploy, we have to observe that application, how the application is behaving. So there I learned a tool called Neuralink. So a lot of things like Amdocs was a very learning journey, I would say. I learned a lot, and in Amdocs it was a telecom project. So the domain, I can say it was telecom. So mostly we're working sprint tasks. Whatever stories came, we have to work on it. It may be a, let's say, REST API. It may be integrating with a third-party system. It may be integrating with a third-party API gateway, or building an API gateway itself. Because, but not everything you have to do from scratch, because architects are there. In any team, there will be architect whenever we are building something. Okay, architects do the solution mapping. So we just like we can ask questions. So that's another thing that comment I got from my senior, that I was the one who asks a lot of questions. So he suggested me that keep this quality in you, that asking a question is a very important thing. Because otherwise you won't be able to know things. Okay, that like if someone told you, okay, this is how it is working. If you don't ask, okay, then what will happen if it do this way? So that's the thing. That's, I think, I suggest each and everyone should have whenever they are working anywhere. But you should ask questions and understand the stuff. So that's another thing. So yeah, and right now, as I told you, the current project is about client requirement, and we are building some applications from scratch. So it's based on Java only. Backend is here we are using Java Enterprise Edition. So there are multiple things in Java. Okay, some older applications uses something called Java E or Jakarta E. So there is in backend or front end it was something else. So like this way only. Mostly you can say application development or feature development, I would say. But yeah, that's all about it.
As far I know, the Java developers like the backend most. Like my friend was also working with Java tech stack. He always talks about JDBC, REST APIs, and microservices. It
Yeah, yeah,
all time talks about these things.
yes.
Uh, so my next question is a little bit different. How is working at a global firm different from a startup?
I haven't worked on startup, so I cannot comment on this. But yeah, as of, I would say about my experience working in a global firm, because I haven't worked on startups, so I cannot comment on this. It would be like a theoretical comment.
Okay.
So if you say in global this companies, you should, there will be a hierarchical based system, right? Someone will be on top of you. So one thing that I would say you have to be very communicative with your supervisor. That's I told before also. So if you are working on something, your supervisor or the person or let's say someone from your team should be aware of it, that you are working on it. So that's another thing. And I would say there are a lot of policies in any global firm. Startups may have a very not rigid policies, but in global firms there are strict policies are there. Like now, just the way we were having work from home, right? So Accenture suddenly told us you have to come a single day in office. So I have to come to here. So this kind of things in Amdocs also it was very strict policies. Maybe for your dressing code it was strict policy, or let's say some trainings that you have to complete. So kind of things. So I would say overall my journey was exciting, but I would suggest whenever you work on any team, okay, so no matter in startup or in global tech firms, so for the first few months or first few days of the working in a team, you should analyze how the team works, because every team has their own quality. So some teams are very proactive, some maybe not that much proactive. So you have to go adapt the vibe of your team, I would say. So then you can work on the corporate. If you don't tune yourself with the vibe, you will feel left out. So that's you shouldn't feel left out, I would say. Yeah, that's and another thing that I would very recommend. That I follow. Keep your professional and personal life separated. So do not merge them. It's not like तू तो मेरा भाई है. No colleague is your bhai, but yeah, they are obviously friendly. They can be friendly in nature. You should be friendly towards your colleagues also, but you should keep a line between there. So that's I would say.
Thank you for your career insights. Now it's a perfect time for a rapid fire round.
Okay,
Okay. One word for your college life.
one word for my college life. Awesome.
Awesome. Okay. Next question. Tea or coffee person?
Tea or coffee person? Tea.
Okay. One professor you will never forget.
One. Can you repeat?
Professor or faculty member?
Okay, AB sir.
AB sir.
I'm not sure he's there. Or anymore, but yeah, his classes are good. And
Okay.
also the Java labs, and there when you get to actually a lot of classes, I would say. Even we used to have fun in electrical labs also. I'm very bad with circuits. Okay, in electrical labs you have to do a lot, create a very complicated circuit. I was and always in my college there was either electrical or electronics circuits you have to build, right? So I was praying that okay, I should get electronic circuit, not electrical one. So yeah, that labs I remember most only. That was the interesting part of it.
Okay. If not IT or consulting, what alternative career you would choose?
Mm, uh, I would say uh, it will be like I'm interested in cybersecurity also, so it can be say cybersecurity expert kind of, right? So yeah, but right now it's not. I am more interested in development right now. So it's right now I'm good with my field. So
Okay. One skill every CSE student must learn.
yeah, TSA,
Ah. Morning person or a night owl?
night out,
Okay. Dream company during your college days.
Intel.
Okay. But you have told that you are not interested in circuits.
Yeah, but in Intel it was like in our previous batch, few people was recruited by Intel. Okay, so in everyone in our batch was very much interested. Okay, we will be in Intel. We have to prepare for Intel because Intel will come. So yeah.
Okay.
Anyhow, but yeah, but here I would like to say dream company. The definition of dream company will change, throughout your life. So there is nothing called a dream company, I would say. You may see a lot of a day of a life of a Microsoft engineer or a Google engineer, but that's the the glossary part, even if I do create a reel, okay, a day life of Accenture person, so it will look like something like that only. Okay, canteens and stuff, this and that. But uh, I would say it's not about the glittery part. It's all about the work that we will do. Okay, so these kind of reels don't show what work they do, what work they are doing, or what kind of pressure they are getting, because not only you will work with I mean, you have to work under a lot of pressure. So everything comes with the pros and cons. So if you can handle a pressure, that's very good. So do not get overwhelmed by these reels. Okay, there is nothing called dream company, I would say. So you have to be good in your domain. Okay, yeah, let's say you are something, any domain, you may be SQL, you are in DB. So let's say you are in SQL developer or a Oracle. There are multiple things in Oracle. Okay, Oracle financial analyst. Okay, let's say. So you have to be very good at your domain. Then there is nothing. You will have your switches. You will have other companies. No issues. But I would suggest, do not target a company. Target a skill.
Okay. One piece of advice you would give into your younger self at SIT.
My younger self.
Yes.
Okay, I would say, I mean, focus on DSA more, because I haven't done that. So I would say, if I would have done that, then it would have been different. But yeah, DSA and algorithms was the, you should focus, because otherwise you won't be able to understand anything. Even right now also, whenever we develop, okay, we have to, I mean, you might say, okay, where the DSA, but DSA doesn't only mean you have to be do lead code. Okay, lead coding is something different. Lead coding is like you are I mean, working on something, or it's a mathematical kind of stuff. Let's say, I would say, you're working on a problem statement that's simple, not simple, maybe complicated also, but that will teach you, okay, that how you will do something in your actual application. So that's the kind of thinking you should have. So that thinking, if you can build, it's very important, because whenever you do some add some features or do something, so you have to learn that also.
Yes, we are parallelly conducting 45 DSA challenge in our
Okay.
college. So there we are uploading everyday problems and all the students need to submit that. So we're trying to build up some
But
coding
yeah,
environment in our college.
yeah. But I would say, if you are doing that also, do one thing also, that whenever you are building an application, okay, so point it out. Okay, this DSS skill or this optimization we have done, so that our, let's say you are working on a millions of elements of a list that is coming from a database. So how would you render it in the UI? The best way to render it, you will use the algorithm, let's say. So there, the actual implementation is talks about.
If you get to remove one buzzword from IT forever, like AI, cloud, or agile, what it will be?
We cannot remove anything. It's we have to adapt it. So that's the thing. I mean, if you don't adapt, it will be. Oh, I mean, the world will go before you. So you have to
Anything
adapt.
like new types of low-code tools are coming.
No, I would say each and everything, because when you work, I mean, when you do work, right, you will say each and everything has their own importance. So not only every I mean, just like, let's say, lovable. Let's say we talk about lovable. So someone is, if, but not every. I would say that's one blog that I have written about this AI thing also. That even we have to do a lot of code assistance also. We use, in our work also, we use AI code assistance. So we have to adapt how we use it. So you have, let's say, I don't say AI assistance will replace you, but AI assistant will make your work more easily. So that's another thing that, but let's say you told your AI assistant, okay, you will implement a service. Okay, I'm giving an example. Let's say your service will do two things. It will send an email, it will send a notification also. You told your AI to create and do the code, but it did it a very structured way. So, but you want to make it more readable, let's say. So you have to know design patterns. You will say, okay, do it in factory design pattern, or do it in some fluent API design pattern. But if you don't know it, then you cannot say to the UI. So knowledge is as well important, because Otherwise, how do you get the output? How to tune the output? So I would say you have to learn and adapt. That's I would say.
Next question, if you had a time machine, would you go back to your first year of your college or jump 10 years into your future?
I would say it's. I would go to first year. I would say I would leave another. I mean, I want to live again the college life. Everyone wants to live it. So it was interesting. So, but I would obviously don't repeat the same mistakes that I have done because I'm already aware of. So yeah,
So work from home or work from office?
work from home. But
Oh,
actually, here also, I mean, I was a work from home guy because we were 2020 batch and we were first office
cool.
experience started with work from home only. So we are too much in work from home environment. But at the first time when I joined office, okay, specifically Amdocs, I would talk about Amdocs. In Amdocs, when I first was in, I was working 3 days from office and 2 days from home. So the office days are not that much, you can say, boarding. It was much more interesting because when you sit with a very lot of people, okay, this person is working on this person working on that. There are informal talks also. Team bonding is happens in offline. That's beyond what happens in online, because online you only talk about, okay, hi, I have this issue, can you help me out, or I have this. So only that much. But offline you talk about a lot of things. So the team bonding happens very great way. So I would say hybrid is the best choice.
So if someone is fresher and joining to the company, so what you will prefer to work from home or work from office?
uh, I would say hybrid basically. I mean, mostly I look for hybrid companies only because there is a flexibility. I mean, whenever you can work from home also. I mean, or there is there a policy, okay, you have to go, let's say, 3 days office or 1 day office. It's good. You are meeting with your teammates also. You are have a privilege to work from home also. But yeah, as because we are on board in work from home, so it's an unofficial thing that I would like work from home mostly. So yeah,
Okay. I think our audience got to see just not your professional side, but also the fun side of you.
thank you.
Now I'm moving to the some advice for our student community.
Okay.
So first question is, how much soft skill is important? Again,
Yeah, I
same
already
question.
told this, right? I already told that communication is the key. You have to be very good at communication. You have to be very good at communication with your teammates, with your peers, with your subordinates. Maybe when you become senior, you have to know how to communicate with your juniors, because juniors, freshers will come. If you treat them, I mean, if you treat them that I know a lot of, there are a lot of people, you will see, you might get a senior who behaves like I know it, I will be very arrogant. You will get that kind of seniors also. But I suggest that I will treat a person like the way that if I was wanted at that point, maybe I am a fresher, what kind of senior I would want. So that kind of person I would become. So that's what I say. So you should be very good at communication. You should, whatever you say, you have to be very confident in it, because confidence is key. Sometimes maybe you did some mistakes, maybe you forget to add something in the code or something. Did a mistake, but I mean, you have to be very good at handling it. It's not like that you feel sorry, because there is nothing in corporate to feel sorry. No one feels sorry for you. You don't feel sorry for yourself. You have to manage it. So there are a lot of things happens. When you really work, you will get to know that managing stuff, talking to people is very much important than writing code.
What common mistakes should every student avoid?
That's the thing. Another thing, do not get overwhelmed. Currently AI is very trending, so if you are literally interested in AI and AI engineering and stuff, so I would suggest, I'm not sure you would get your first job in AI engineering itself, so you may have to struggle. You have to take a different path to get to land in a job in that particular field. But start from fundamentals. Do not only you are working, you are have a API key, you are doing something. That's not AI engineering. You have to understand how basically this fundamentals things work. Like you have to literally understand how transformers work. So there is something in transformers basically which give this power to the AI model. So this kind of thing you have to fundamentally, if you know aware of it, then yeah, you are interested in that field, fine. But if you really interested in some other things, so focused in that, do not get overwhelmed. Okay, if you're working on MERN stack, stick to MERN stack, learn it very good way, because even right now also MERN has a lot of opportunities. If you are interested in Spring, I mean in this Java stack, learn it. Also, it all depends on the projects or in the first company that you will work for. So that actually the first company will decide your professional journey. Here as a student you can learn a lot of things, but the first company, when you work for some domain, some tool, it can be a tool also like SAP, Salesforce, or some no code tool like Mendix. So anything. So the first company will decide your career aspirations, because if you have different career aspiration, you have to switch and you have to look for some other way around. But yeah, I would say right now focus on fundamentals, focus on SQL, focus on DSA, focus on development altogether, how solid principles work, let's say how development design patterns work, how development actually, what is development, how Git works, how you can properly communicate. Yeah, that's the advice.
So in your college life, are you used to be the guy who continuously study throughout the semester, or you are the guy who study before the just exam hit?
Not just before the exam, but it's like I, if something is interested to me, if some topic is very interested to me, okay, I will go to home and study it once, because let's say otherwise I wouldn't get to know. Maybe I study more than what was taught there, but if something doesn't feel interested to me, I don't look into it other before the exam, just go through it just to write something in the exam. So yeah, that's it.
Uh,
All depends on the interest.
any college life hack you would like to tell us?
College life hack. Okay, so not hack, I would say have fun basically, because when these 4 years will be gone, you will look behind, you will see, okay, because when you start doing job, okay, so you might, this also may happen that you and your friend is working for the same company, but you don't have that bond anymore. So this will happen with you. So this is the thing. So that this 4 years in college is the best years. So enjoy it, have fun, do mistakes, learn from it. Yeah, that's I can say.
Also, nowadays we see this, yeah, as you are to telling, ki, uh, basic principles like DSA and SQL are needed, but nowadays everyone trying to get jack of all trades rather than mastering one. Like
I I would
everyone
say,
is exploring different fields like AI with DevOps, AI with IoT, AI with
but
many
one
fields
thing,
are coming up.
yeah, yeah. One thing you have to remember that, as I told, uh, we are a fresher. Okay, you are a fresher. So your first target is to get into a job. It's not get into, I mean, it can be any company, because the first job that you will get, it will be something, a feeling that you will get, it's something beyond. So you first have to get a job. In that job you might get a profile of your desire, you might not get a profile of a desire. From there you have to start exploring. If you are very much interested in something, let's say you are very much interested in AI, DevOps, and you won't work other than that, you will work only in that field, then, and your campus placements are not helping you, then you have to choose another way. You may have to go through some professional courses, right? There are some companies which provide placement support with their course. You can go through that also. So it's like, it depends on you, what is your priority. My priority was to get a job at first. So then I build my profile, then I build my domain, that I learned Java, I learn about Java Spring Boot, so I will be a Java developer. I interested in, I learned DevOps things also. So might be I'm interested in DevOps also. So if some role that talks because in as a developer you have to do some DevOps task also. So like this way. So you have to choose your priority. I would say that what you want to do. If you're very rigid, you can go with AI plus DevOps, whatever field. But uh, I would say do not get overwhelmed because at the end of the day, it will all decided by your first profile, first job. So yeah, that's I
Uh,
would say.
so every day you are learning new technologies. So any technique you would like to mention to learn skills fast?
I would right now I use Gemini a lot. I guess Gemini. I mean, I don't use that much ChatGPT, but Gemini. Whenever I want to learn about a certain topic, I would just I mean give some keywords from it. I would give Gemini and tell it, okay, explain it to me like I don't know anything about it. So the way it does, it's better than reading or watching a videos. Also, yeah, sometimes I do follow some YouTubers. There is some YouTube channels I would recommend. Hitesh Chaudhary was there, Bite Monk is there, then Tanay Pratap is there. So they talk about real facts. So I like their approach. Yeah. So that's YouTube videos. But I don't mostly I don't learn by only writing theory. You have to do some projects also. Maybe some person right now just the way right now I'm learning about MCP servers, how I can integrate MCP servers in applications. So I'm building a application side by side. Okay, how can I, because when we build we get to know pros and cons of it. So what can be done, what cannot be done. So but watching a tutorial and doing that won't help. So you have to, if you are building, you're fine.
So there are fourth year seniors with us in this podcast. So they are
Okay.
asking, yeah, so any campus placement preparation tips or strategy you'd like to mention to aid them in this dynamic industry change?
I would say, first of all, you have to, as I said, you have to go through the elimination rounds. You have to pass this aptitude rounds. If you have done it, then research the company that you are sitting for. What is their work? What kind of work they do? And when you talk about something, okay, be very technical in when you be very technical in communicative and very confident what you are talking about. Let's say the interviewer asks you very basic questions. They can ask you basic questions also. They can go beyond than that also. So do not answer straight that I don't know. Say yeah, I know about it, or I have gone through it, but yeah, no, I don't have that much hands-on experience on it. But yeah, I do have some certain knowledge of it, or did have worked on it, something like that. So directly saying okay I don't know it, I mean you have to play tricks basically. You have to be very I would say very political when you talk about something. So that's the thing. But yeah,
Okay.
interviewers should get to know okay this person, because it was I mean I understood from my experience that whenever we are interview a fresher, right? So mostly my senior one, because interviewed one few juniors when I was in Capgemini. I mean they told me to take interview, so I did it. But what my manager was telling, just see that if the person is trained. I mean, you can train that person. Yeah, select him. Because if you sound technical, obviously people will say, okay, this person is. I can train him with any technology, because the thing you know that might not add value to them when as per their business. So companies only talk in business. They do everything in business, because right now you see a lot of layoffs are happening. So why the layoffs are happening? Business requirements are not there. They are laying off people, or restructuring is happening. So company always talks business, and you have to understand that political mindset, and you have to be very prepared on that.
Okay, thank you for your insights for our student community. Now I'm moving to the general general questions.
Okay, sure.
If you could meet one global tech leader, who it would be and why?
I would meet obviously Elon Musk. and it
Okay.
will be like because the things he is doing is beyond, and he's very cool. That's the thing. Not only he's a technical guy, he's very cool also. So that's
So what's the next big thing in tech according to you? Like it's MR or quantum computing or semiconductors?
every thing is happening, but the big thing that everyone is talking about AGI. It's the big thing that might happen, might take some time, but yeah, because everything is uh, bubble around, right? A bubble around the AI. So it's a trending thing. So finance people are spending a lot of money to build something like AGI, or I would say some device or some, because I was reading somewhere that Elon Musk is working with someone from Apple to work on an operating system which is fully AI enabled. So this kind of things might come in future. So like AI integrated this, AI integrated that, so kind of thing. So this is the kind of products that will come in future, obviously. So everything there will be a AI or copilot will be there. So yeah, that's the future I can see, because in my work also they are asking, I mean the business peoples are asking that uh, how we can leverage the power of AI in the application. So these talks are happening, but it's like the adaptation will take time because it's not a very small thing. It will be a large change. It will happen step by step, but yeah, this is the new thing. Right?
Apart from tech, what qualities will define future engineers?
Apart from tech, how do you, not engineers basically, I would say any profession, how do you handle difficult scenarios when something is wrong? Critical thinking basically. If you have a good critical thinking, it's best for your career, best for your life, everywhere. So you have to be very critically, I mean, if something goes wrong, what you will do, that's kind of thing.
I mean, that means problem solving and critical thinking is needed in
Yes,
every situation.
obviously,
Okay.
because you might face many problems. Let's say I give you my example. Let's say we were working on some integration, okay, with some other application, and that application, that feature was coming from another company. That so there was one intermediate service that was talking to both the intermediate services made by my company. So when we are handling it, so they are like saying it's your mistakes, you are not able to connect, and now we are seeing it's your mistake that you are not able to connect. So there kind of very top management and kind of people were there. You have to be, you are working on it, you are showing them, okay, this is how. So this kind of scenarios will happen in your life. So this is the kind of in professional and personal both also. So problem solving is must.
Okay. My next question, if you could add one futuristic course as SIT, what it would be?
Futuristic course. So I would say uh, basics of corporate and basics of finance. How do you handle your money, basically? Tax. What is, how do you handle your tax, income tax, and everything. Basic finance and basic communication is already there, so we don't have to have. So finance should be taught if someone is aware of finance, because it takes a lot of time to learn finance also. How do you manage your money? So basic finance and this communication and stuff, and obviously basic corporate skills. How do you how you send a outlook, obviously how do you send a professional email, how you talk to your, I mean let's say a mock scenario where you are not talking to your friends, you're talking to your subordinate, or you're talking to your peers. So a very, and someone is evaluating that kind of things I would suggest.
Any events or competition you'd like to suggest for our SITians that we may take that event in our college or make or to take part?
I would say a event that you can organize is something like one problem you want to solve, kind of such that. Let's say you want to solve a problem. What kind of, it can be, it doesn't have to be application itself. Okay, the problem you have in your college life or in what problem you see, and you want to provide some solution. Let's say the traffic jam of Siliguri. You want to say something about it. You want to suggest something. Okay, this if we implement this, it could improve this. So this kind of a talkative place where people will say when a problem is given to someone and they talk about a solution, people will say against it. You have to defend it. Yeah, you have to understand their point also. A very interesting thing you can do. It will be a very fun also.
Okay, that's the end of our podcast. That was
Yeah,
fun. Thank you for sharing your
yeah,
journey, learning, and your
yeah. Thank
inspiring
you
words
for
with us
inviting me
today.
also. Yeah.